If you've flown Ryanair, you probably swore never to do it again. But what if I told you it's safer than most airlines you trust? Behind the chaos lies a shockingly effective system with a zero fatality record. So, how does an airline known for misery end up wildly profitable and with a spotless safety record? There's a brutal logic behind every cost-cutting move they make, from landing at faraway airports to squeezing every inch of cabin space. It's a business model that breaks all the rules and still wins? Here's how Ryanair turned misery into mastery. Let's break it down. Back in the late 1980s, Ryanair wasn't Europe's budget king. It was losing money, flights were half empty, and honestly, the future didn't look like it had any legroom. Then came Michael O'Leary. He was sent to the United States to study how airlines made money. And there, he saw something that changed everything. Southwest Airlines. No meals, no seat selection, no nonsense. Just one aircraft type, fast boarding, and crazy low ticket prices. It was like watching an airline run on fast food speed. And that's when it hit him. What if flying could be like McDonald's? Fast, cheap, standardized. Yep, he wanted planes to run like burger joints. And weirdly, it worked. So how exactly do they pull this off? Well, it starts with something really smart. Ryanair only buys one type of aircraft, the Boeing 737s. No mixing, no matching, just one type of plane over and over again, like they're collecting them on discount. And speaking of discounts, because they buy in bulk, like Costco for planes, they get massive price cuts from Boeing. Think of it as the airline version of buy 100, save millions. But it's not just about saving money. Having one aircraft type means every pilot, every crew member, and every mechanic is trained to work on the exact same machine. That's fewer mistakes, faster fixes, and a lower chance of anything going wrong. According to aviation safety data, nearly 20% of fatal airline crashes happen due to maintenance or mechanical errors. But Ryanair's standardization strategy, it reduces that risk, because the fewer variables you have, the fewer things can go wrong. It's like if your entire city only drove one kind of car, every garage could fix it with their eyes closed. And that's one of the big reasons Ryanair is actually one of the safest airlines in Europe.
Ryanair's secret weapon isn't just the planes, it's the people flying them. Unlike long-haul pilots who zigzag across time zones, get jet-lagged, and spend nights in hotels, Ryanair pilots fly short routes, mostly within Europe. Their schedule? 5 days on, 4 days off. And they usually sleep in their own beds every night. It's almost like a 9 to 5, except they're flying a 75-ton tube. Now, why does that matter? Because fatigue is deadly in aviation. Exhausted pilots make poor decisions, and in the air, there's no undo button. Pilot fatigue has been a factor in 15 to 20% of major aviation incidents. But Ryanair's short-haul strategy, tight scheduling, and local base model means fewer overnight stays, less jet lag, and way less fatigue. They save money on hotels, pilots stay sharp, passengers stay alive. Win, win, win.
Ryanair's choice of airports is creative, to say the least.
You book a flight to Paris? Surprise! You land in Beauvais, a cozy little airport just 80 kilometers away. Frankfurt? Sure, if you mean Hahn Airport, which is actually closer to Luxembourg than to Frankfurt. At this point, you might need another flight just to reach the city they promised. But there's a method behind this madness.
These far-off airports, they're cheaper, way cheaper. Lower landing fees, less congestion, faster turnarounds, fewer delays, and believe it or not, lower fuel burn. Add to that Ryanair's 25-minute turnaround strategy. Planes land, refuel, board, and take off again. That speed keeps planes in the air, not parked at expensive gates. It's stressful for the crew, but it reduces delays, cuts costs, and yes, lowers the risk of rushed, tired decision-making in the sky. So yes, you'll land in the middle of nowhere. But at least you'll land safely. Just don't forget to add a 2-hour bus ride to reach town.
If Ryanair is so efficient and safe, why do people hate it? Simple. They charge you for everything. Want to choose a seat? Pay up. Forgot to print your boarding pass? That's 55 euros, please. Carry-on bag too big by 1 centimeter? Hello, extra fees. Want to breathe air with slightly more legroom? That'll cost too. The result? A goldmine of angry tweets and viral complaint videos. Ryanair doesn't just get negative PR, they embrace it. While most airlines scramble to defend themselves, Ryanair leans into the hate. You'll see posts like, "I will never fly Ryanair again," and Ryanair will quote tweet it with something like, "See you next summer." And then there's Michael O'Leary, the CEO. He once joked about charging people to use the toilet on board. Another time, he said the best way to cut costs was to get rid of co-pilots. Basically, Ryanair's public image is like that loud friend who says outrageous things just to stay in the spotlight. And weirdly enough, it works. They've built a brand on being the airline everyone complains about while booking their next flight anyway. Because when a ticket costs less than your lunch, you'll put up with anything.
So, what did we learn from Ryanair? They've taken everything people hate about flying and turned it into one of the most profitable, efficient airline models in the world. They don't promise luxury. They promise you'll get there, cheaply, safely, and usually on time. While other airlines play nice and bleed money, Ryanair plays rough and prints money. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's frustrating. But from a business point of view, it's genius. Now hit that subscribe button. I promise it's free.